Tell me a good story about personalization, why it matters so much in advertising, all the cool, fun, interesting things you can do with it, why you're passionate about it.
Absolutely.
It's a loaded question, right?
Yeah. So I know it's 25 years of digital advertising. So I figured I'll talk about why advertising is important to me, and sort of how personalization comes in.
That's great.
So I think to me there's sort of two types of ad experiences that I have found the most relevant in my life.
Yeah.
I think the first one is sort of that emotional connection you have with a brand that sort of lingers for years, right? And just plants a seed that comes in later. And for me that happened with, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, the Darth Vader Volkswagen ad.
Yeah.
Where the kid dresses up as Darth Vader. They had the auto start functionality.
Absolutely.
The kid goes like this, and the car turns on. And fast forward, I guess, 5 years now, and my daughter's 3, and we were sort of looking for a family car, and Volkswagen wasn't something we had considered, but that just sort of kept coming back to me, and lo and behold, we now own a Volkswagen, right?
Yeah.
The second story, the second type of ad experience I really like is, when you find something you didn't even know you need, and or existed.
All the time. It's called Instagram for me.
Right, there you go. And you're like, wow, that just changed my life. And it's funny, I have it over there on my phone. For the longest time, I've been looking for an iPhone case with the perfect mix of, being, strong and sort of crack-proof, but also slim.
Sure.
And I gave up eventually, but I think, somehow...
There's no perfect thing, right? We all are in that boat.
Well, there is now, so that's what I'm here to tell you.
Ooh.
So I found, I saw
Did you
this
personalize
ad.
this to me? Because this feels right. Like, did you do your research?
Maybe. I'll have to get a coupon on that, as I send you the referral. So this company called Spygen, I saw an ad for this case that said it was made out of carbon fiber, was hard and slim at the same time. Sounded too good to be true. I bought it, and I've had it for 2 years. I love it. So I think going back to that point, for me, those are two ad experiences that have actually been meaningful in my life with those two brands, to very different brands, to very different ad experiences. And I think that's why personalization is important, because ultimately, we're trying to make that connection with a brand, or we're trying to, drive you to take an action like buy the case. So I think that's why it's important, as marketers, for us to know that, and as consumers, we know that's what really moves us. So that's my couple of quick stories about advertising.
Well, and I think the timing of personalization, like hitting somebody at the exact right moment, at the exact right time, is what advertising is now. It's the trigger rather than the advertisement that ultimately wins out in the end, right? Just because of where we're at with data, where we're at with what we can do.
Yeah, what's challenging now, and this all sounds like something we should be able to do, but what's sort of been challenging is over the last few years, what's happened in sort of conjunction with this rise of programmatic and digital advertising is, the consumer touch points have fragmented so much, right? I mean, in a day, I'm on my phone, I'm on my Roku, I'm listening to Pandora. It's just all these different experiences, and for a marketer now, it's becoming harder to not only, first of all, personalize the story, but wait a minute, I got to keep that story straight across all these channels.
Prioritizing those channels and figuring out where to spend the most time.
Right, and what message, and we always say, there's sort of the three key components to delivering a great ad experience. It's, obviously what you're saying, right? And believe it or not, we think, the industry is sort of underinvested in the creative, the message itself. So we think, we're having a big focus, with Ad Cloud Creative now to actually, what is the message, right? Then it's sort of who you're showing it to, which has been this obsession over the last 25 years, or sort of audience targeting. And I think we've sort of over-indexed on that, but there's also kind of what context and where you're showing the ad, right?
Yeah,
so if I'm sort of, on the go, at the gym, listening to Pandora, I probably want a different message. I don't want a call to action that I'm going to go, right now and go buy something.
Right. Time and mood are so important. Yes.
Exactly.
And understanding the functionality of why that person is tending to use that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Because if I'm into a deep podcast, I'm probably one of two places. I'm at the gym, or I'm on a road trip. Either way, I'm probably not able to, make the purchase. Yeah.
Exactly. And what's really been interesting is now with sort of TV, connected TV, right? So the whole smart TVs, your Rokus, Apple TVs. There's a lot of promise in actually bringing that personalization to the big screen. Because TV has been bought, for decades now, on a very sort of broad age, gender, demo target, right? Sure. If you're, male 18 to 34. We'll show you an ad for Axe deodorants.
Here are a bunch of channels you probably don't need, but it's all working out for everybody, so why change it? But I think we're inching closer and closer to that cord cut.
Yep. So I think for us, sort of, at Adobe, part of the problem we want to solve for marketers in order to deliver these consistent experiences that are personalized is to make all of the platform work seamless, right? So we announced a partnership with Roku where what we're doing is we're essentially, able to match IDs or identity in a way where we know that if we showed you an ad on your mobile device and we see you later, while you're at home watching a show on Roku, we don't keep bombarding you with the same message or personalize it, right?
Yes.
So
that's like if you binge watch a show, but it's a network TV show right now, and you keep going down the line, you keep getting the same 2 ads over and over again. It becomes a negative experience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, the last thing we want to do is actually turn you off the brand.
Right. The last thing is we want to actually keep cycling through a personalized experience that goes too far in the wrong direction. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I think the last thing I'd say is, we have to do all of this in a way that keeps the customer's privacy paramount.
Yeah.
Right? I think with GDPR and sort of this focus on privacy, we think it's actually been a really good wake-up call to the industry. One, not just to be good stewards of their customers' data and the customer experience, but also I think it has sort of renewed the focus on, hey, just don't obsess over audience data, but look at the creative message. That actually can get you better ROI if you personalize it. Look at the context, right? So, for instance, if I'm reading an article about doing something myself or DIY, I was trying to fix this bicycle for my daughter. It was super complicated, by the way.
Sounds like me and IKEA.
There you go, right? And that tells you as a marketer, if you're Home Depot, well, this customer clearly is a potential customer for myself. So without having to collect audience data on me, just based on the fact the context of where I'm reading that article or a video, that tells you a lot. So I think we've seen now this sort of shift with the focus on privacy to actually valuing the sort of the 2 other legs of the stool a little bit more.
I love it.
Which I think is great for the industry.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.